Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to my loft. Rusty Blackwood here on August the 3rd, 2023. And I've got my air conditioner off right now to stop the noise in the background. As you can see, if you look back here, you can see the dormer window where the air conditioner is. And from past experience, I've found that it just creates too much of a, oh, how do you put it, like a low roar in the background, and it can be deceiving and discerning with what I have to say. And so I've just shut it off for the time that I'm going to be doing this video, and we shall see how far I go in it today. I'm definitely not exceeding the 30-minute limit. And I've sort of been out of sorts this last week. I've got fighting a cold, summer cold, and if any of you, which I'm sure everybody out there at one point in time has, encountered that and had to put up with that. It seems like in the summertime, if you get a cold or you get a touch of flu or something, it's worse than it is in the winter time. And I think it's because of the heat outside, for one thing. Like if it's cold, when the weather is cold, at least here in Canada and the northern states, at least, where it's in the wintertime, the weather is cold. There's just something about the coldness that helps you cope with a cold or the flu, much better than in the summertime when it's hot outside. And of course you have to, if you have air conditioning, after a while that gets a little stale because it's the same air circulating around in the area that air conditioner is cooling. And so every once in a while you want to open your windows and let fresh air in, even if the temperature is hot outside. And so I cope. And I think a lot of my problems too is I have allergies, and so I'm putting up with those. There's a lot of pollen in the air now that we're in August, and the leaves are getting ready to, the end of their cycle of producing the chlorophyll that is going through them, and it's soon going to be coming to an end, and the procession to, or the progression, I should say, to the turning of colors will begin as the leaves die down. And as much as what's going to follow, winter is going to come, it's still, early fall is still my favorite time of the year. And I love the colors, for one thing, and I love the air is so crisp and clean, and it's fresh, and there's no more humidity, and I don't do well with humidity. It just sucks my breath, and it's labored, let's put it that way. And the older I get, the more I'm finding it more difficult each summer. And of course in the wintertime, then I'm finding my bones don't like the cold. So it's half of this and half of that, and it is what it is, and you just try to find the common ground in the middle and hope for the best. And so enough of that. I don't think people need to have a health report from on the other side of the screen. I hope everybody is doing okay, though. And You know, when I talk about the air, um, there's just so much crap and poison being put in the air constantly. Um, I don't have a list of the stuff here, but one that I do know is barium, and all this stuff is being pumped into the sky daily, almost daily, if not daily, and to keep seeding the clouds and keep trying to manipulate and control the weather to try to shore up their idiotic climate change, that in return can make them seem like they're doing the right thing by constantly jacking taxes for this and taxes for that and another carbon tax and all of this. And anybody with one little bit of common sense knows that trees absorb carbon. So everywhere you go in Canada, you're going to encounter trees. And for people that are so afraid, plant more trees. That's going to absorb the carbon. And in return, is going to give pure oxygen to everybody. It doesn't take a Harvard scientist to know this. And but if people would just tune out, turn the TV off, turn the news, the TV news off, the mainstream news, and start remembering your lessons in school, your science lessons in school, and pay attention to what has been presented in logical facts, in video facts, so you can see for yourself what people are trying to, that these people that are trying to cause such panic and such belief in what is happening, and just keep everybody tense, keep everybody panicked, keep everybody afraid. Then if people would tune out to this, just shut it off, because all it is, it's just to keep you in those moods and those feelings, you would be so much better off. It just, at times, it just frustrates me so much, because I know better. And, thank God there are thousands and thousands of people, and more all the time, that already know this. But for those that have the glazed over eyes for the last few years to everything that's been going on, the glaze is finally wearing off, and they're starting to see what they should be seeing and realizing. And I hope it's going to take that to put an end to all of this deceivement, all of the lies, all of the criminal activities. I don't know if any of that is the criminality of it. I don't know if that's ever going to go away. But the rest of this farce, the more it can be exposed, the better it's going to be for everybody in the long run. And people have to take a stand. We have our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren, and so on, to think about. And if people don't take a stand, what is their lives going to be like? I know I've spoken about this before, that I had two uncles that fought in the Second World War. And the stories, my one uncle, I never spoke to Uncle Doug about it, but to my Uncle Melv, who was in the infantry, and he walked the front lines. I would sit and speak with him when he would come down to visit. He was very close to my mom. They were very close siblings. and he would talk about some of the things that he had seen and witnessed, and you know, I'm sure even what the answers he gave me when I would ask him about things, I'm sure his answers were not as in depth as they could have been, simply because I think two things. I think probably why he didn't want to frighten me, and secondly, he didn't want to relive it, because I think with every answer that he gave, you know, I can remember the expressions on his face, and he was right there again. He was witnessing what he was talking about, and oh, it must have been hell on earth what those poor people went through to try to defeat communism and to keep freedom reigning supreme. And it just, it makes me so angry and irritated to think that nowadays it seems like that is pushed away as much as it possibly can be, and never spoken about. It's like, you know, they're trying to erase the past. They're trying to erase all these heroic people that are to be applauded and thanked beyond measure for what they did. Because if they hadn't done what they did, life for the rest of us from 1945 onward, even before I was born, would have been so totally different. And I think it's time that people started remembering this. And it shouldn't only be remembering it one day a year. It should be always. It should be taught in school. It should be included in history constantly, not just when we get to the November 11th here in Canada and November 11th in the States for Veterans Day, and here it's Remembrance Day. But it should be spoken about often so that children know, and they know what happened, and be told the truth, not a sugar-coated version, because someone's feelings may get hurt. It's time, I think, that like political correctness was improper. Yes, you should be mindful of someone when you're speaking to them, as to the way you're speaking to them and what you're saying to them. But because somebody's feelings might get hurt about something, if it means the difference between someone's feelings getting hurt, one person's feelings getting hurt, and an entire country being made to get to their knees to applaud a dictator, is totally different. And it's just what's going on today is there's no need for it. It's just for greed, and it's just power grab, and total evil. I don't know how these people manage to sleep at night. They obviously have no conscience. They have no compassion. They have no empathy. All they think of is themselves. and what they can manage to grab at the cost of everybody's life. And I suppose I feel like this simply because I'm a mother, and I'm a grandmother, and I'm a great-grandmother. And those people, my own family, are the most important people in the world to me. And their safety and their freedom, it must exist, and it must continue to exist. They must have the same chances that me and my generation had, and with no if, and, or buts about it. So, when I do these videos, I don't have subjects in mind that I'm going to talk about that is definite. When I begin a video, it's just what's coming to my mind. And oftentimes, what I'm talking about can lead me to something else, which then leads me to something further, and so on and so on. And of course, with this ridiculous C11 censor bill here in Canada that was rammed through by the federal government, the Liberals, it's just, you have to be careful how you talk about things, because if they think for 1 second that you might be getting out from under their thumb, or you're not obeying what they have dictated, you tend to, your videos can be taken off. You can be put on notice. You can be totally restricted for whatever period of time they choose. It's the same on Facebook. They freeze your Facebook, or they give you strikes, they give you so many days, or move all of what you have to say to the bottom of the page, whatever. Because, heaven's sakes, if you get fact checked on Facebook, you know perfectly well you're on the right track, because you're revealing truth that they cannot let be gotten out. So they stick a banner right on there, that the news is not right. And and then if you're given the opportunity to object to their act, through their choice, and it will, if you do, then you go to another page where it will ask you why you object, or to contact them, and you do, and of course immediately opens and says, this can't be gotten, this area can't be gotten. It's just, it's so utterly ridiculous. And I don't know. There are some sites where you are still free to speak your mind, and you always want to be sure whatever it is you're talking about is the truth. It is truthful. That you're not, of course, so many people, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. That's not true. How can that be true? You silly, silly person. You don't have your tin hat sitting on your head properly. Well, So, I hope everybody out there continues to keep researching, keep digging, and you're going to find the truth, regardless of how much they try to cover it up and they try to stop it. Truth always wins. It always prevails sooner or later. It's like this business that's going on now down in the States. Trump is up on another indictment he's supposed to be appearing for today. It's just the Democrats' idiotic, pathetic attempt to stop him at all costs because he is running for president again. In my mind, he never stopped being president because he did win that election in 2020. And the Democrats can scream and holler until the cows come home. But they cheated, and it was proven they cheated. And all you got to do is watch videos that were, there's your proof right there. You see what's going on. And yet no, the Democrats tried to deny this. Oh, that didn't happen. You know, it was a busted pipe. Everybody had to get out. And then here's all these bins being pulled out from under the tables, and all of a sudden all these boxes and boxes and boxes of ballots being brought in. Come on, you know, and the scrutineers for the Democrats and for the Republicans, which are supposed to be present during the counting of ballots, all the Republicans either being pushed back so they couldn't see or stopped from coming into the building. And there again, it does not take a ridiculously high IQ to know what went on and what purposely went on. And if they think for 1 second that Biden won that election and the way he performs, in a way, if it wasn't the fact that of what he is, I would feel sorry for that man. And I would think that any Democrat, any self-respecting Democrat, would be ashamed of themselves to put this obvious health deteriorating, aging quickly man in front of the cameras out there and in front of people to bumble along and fall, and he can't remember things, he can't pronounce names, he can't, it's just, it's a joke. And we know who's behind all of it. And come on, you know, I lost a good friend over political nonsense, and I hope she's, you know, she would be the first one to think he's doing a wonderful job and to praise him and to can't wait to elect him again and all of this. It just makes me feel like saying, open your eyes. You're not an unintelligent woman. What is the matter with you? But, you know, she looked at me the same way because I would support Trump. Because his actions, what he did for that country during the time he was in there as president, they were flourishing. They never had it so good. And yet, no, you know, she couldn't understand how I could say that. And even members in my own family, not my own family, my family from back home, they would say the same thing. They couldn't understand why I would give support to Trump, because there again, they're listening to nothing but CNN and in Canada here, CBC, that is bought and paid for by the government to say what they're told to say. And it's the same down in CNN and down in the States with their mainstream news down there. They're again bought and paid for. You say what we tell you to say. And it was proven one time that here's all these different news stations with all these anchors, and they're all reporting from the same paper, word for word for word. Now, come on. You know, they may want to talk about the same subject, but an actual journalist, news reporter, may be reporting on the very same subject as somebody at some other station somewhere else, but they're not using word word for word. And so, you know, they would be reporting it in their own words. I'm sure that a lot of them do refer to what we used to call in high school cheat sheets, and so that they didn't get off track and they could stay on topic and give their report. But they would be giving their report in their own words, or reading the teleprompter, and maybe putting their own take on some of that as well. But when it is word for word for word, everywhere at the exact same time, you would think people would stop and clue into the fact that something's going on here, and something just is not right. And so anyway, that is my video for today. I had promised that I would be doing a YouTube video today, so, you know, even you must excuse me if I kind of look a little pale or whatever, or if I'm a little snuffly or nasally. But so when you do a promise, you know, you say you're going to do something, you better follow through and do it. And I'm one that always does that. And so so I'm just shy of 30 minutes here, so I'm going to close, and I'll be back again relatively soon. It's been, I think, just over 2 weeks since I did my last video, and that was like a long gap. I'm trying to do them closer together. And here in Canada, we're coming up to the civic holiday weekend, and it is the long weekend. And so I hope all you readers out there that follow me or subscribe to me from Canada, I hope you have a really, really great long weekend. And so, you know, the summer's half over, and it won't be long before it will be totally gone, and we're moving on. Time certainly doesn't wait for anybody. And so, I want to wish God's blessings to each of you. Please stay strong, stay safe, continue to find out for yourself what you can. It's not hard to find it. All you got to do is keep looking, and a lot of it is right under your nose. You just clue into what your senses are telling you, what your eyes are showing you, and tune out to the constant ramming of crap into your ears, and you will find amazing what you will discover. And so I hope you like this video. Please share it around, please comment, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you so very much to all of you who have subscribed. So I hope you have the rest of your day is good, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye for now.